Hey everybody, Aaron here making another video. Today what I want to do is talk about the real cost of a safety incident. I know you've heard that before and everybody says the same thing, but this is going to be a little bit different. And so I think it's worth your time to stick around to the very end. But I'll try to make this a short video so you don't have to hang around too long. So when it comes to calculating the real true cost of an incident, I think there are three primary areas that businesses who have been through this before look at. And I'm going to save the most impactful one for last because I want to spend a minute talking about that. The first one is lawsuits. A lot of times business owners, they've made some mistakes. Maybe there's an injury, maybe there's a serious injury, maybe even a fatality, and then litigation, follows, and they end up, in the courts, and there's a cost associated with that. That can be tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars, in legal fees, maybe millions if it's a really large company. But I actually don't think that's real common for the small to mid-sized companies. I mean, it's not as common as some of these other problems. So that's one of the things is lawsuits. The second of the three is workers' compensation premium increases. When you have injuries and illnesses and they become work comp claims, obviously it only takes one to increase your premiums by 10, 20, 50%. I've seen that happen before. Sometimes it takes a couple, sometimes it only takes one. But typically there's going to be a cost there that's going to be, somewhere in the range of tens of thousands of dollars per year, for smaller companies, and for mid-sized companies, it could get up there pretty high. But the third, and I think the main way that companies end up suffering the most as a result of having an incident is their reputation, their company's reputation. But it's not even really tied directly, to these injuries and illnesses. Sometimes just not having the paper trail, the record, proving that, you've done safety training, you've done safety meetings, you do safety inspections to ensure that you provide a safe workplace for those workers. That paper trail, is something that your customers, your current ones, and your future prospective customers are beginning to ask for. And so whenever you go to renew a big contract, what's happening is companies are getting surprised with questions like, well, let me see all of the documentation or the records where you've been, providing training to your workers. And they begin asking for all this paperwork. And sometimes, you can whip up a safety manual or something like that, but it's not going to be enough. They're asking for more these days because they want to ensure that you're running a real safety program. And most small companies just don't have a paper trail like that, even medium-sized companies. It's something they take a stab at and typically, drop the ball on over time, and they don't have, a consistent record there. And so your existing customers, when they go to, renew your contract, what we're seeing is that's coming up, and if you don't have that paper trail, it doesn't look good, and companies are losing out on those opportunities. The same thing is happening with prospective customers. Let's say that you have a sales force or you don't. Either way, and you have a company that you want to do business with, and you have an opportunity to bid on some work or to engage with this customer, well, it's more and more common now for them to ask, well, what do you have for a safety program? You send them your safety manual and it's not enough. They want to see, trainings, certifications. They want to see that paper trail where you've been doing, at least the basic bare minimum stuff that's required by the law of your state or by the federal government. So anyway, if you're curious to know what the real cost, of a safety incident or the real cost of not doing safety is, it's in your company's reputation. In the future, your current customers and prospective customers are going to want to see that you have been doing these activities. And if you don't have that, you're stuck. You really can't compete anymore, or you're going to have to lie, and you can get into serious trouble for that. So Hope this video helps. If you have any questions, comment down below. If you disagree, comment. If you want to learn more about all this stuff, just subscribe to the channel or go to the main part of my channel and find my company website there and check it out. See you in the next video.